dermatologist appointment, 3-month checkup. So as of yesterday, I started feeling a little anxious. Last night, it's kind of emotional yesterday. Little things were kind of just hitting me. But I did get my CT scan results late yesterday afternoon. Last night, actually. So even with that, it's like as I'm reading them, I'm like, oh, everything looks okay. But as I keep reading, you still have that feeling of what's it going to say as I keep reading. But everything I saw looks good. So, yay. We will see what the doctor has to say today. I will talk to you then. Alrighty, back from the doctor, and I had some breakfast, so now I can give you the update. And I must say, what a difference a year makes. Last year at this time, I had the CT scan, which I updated in the last video of how that CT scan went and how I had to drink the contrast, even though they told me I wasn't going to have to. But the other thing I thought of as we were coming home from that appointment, that my husband and I were discussing what a difference that CT scan was from previous ones, from the very first one I had. And I said, well, yeah, because we know what to expect now. So last time the first time I was there for my first CT scan, obviously I didn't know the procedure, how it was going to work, that I had to drink the contrast or how much contrast. I was crying and just very, anxious and unsettled. And this time it was just kind of like, a little walk in the park, knowing I was going to have at least the IV contrast. And even when I was told that I had to drink the contrast, it was like, okay, not ideal, but that's fine. I know how this goes. And the contrast actually didn't taste that bad this time. It actually just tasted like water. I know other people have said that they have brought along a little flavored drops to put in their water, or like a flavor packet thing. So I was going to do that, but when they told me I didn't need to, drink contrast, I didn't bring that stuff. So I was happy that it just tasted like water. So that was good too. So that was a big difference as to how it was that first time as to what this procedure was like. And then for my birthday, on my actual birthday last year, I actually had a chemo treatment. And this year, I got to go out to eat with my family. So that was much better. I'll take that. So very nicely, my daughter, she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to come or not. She was feeling a little bit sick, but she really didn't want to miss it. And so she was feeling well enough that her and her boyfriend were able to come over, and we went out to Honeyberry Cafe, one of my favorite restaurants these days, where I go to eat with my girlfriends. And so I knew that it was enough of a variety of a menu that everybody would find something there that they would like to eat. Lots of choices. So that was good, and they did. And again, we all had different foods, and it was all super delicious. Everybody really enjoyed their meals. And it was busy, as per usual, so it's also good to see. Good to see that, the restaurant is busy. They're going to make it, hopefully. It's not just a Sunday thing. And also in that respect, that pretty much the food that you should be eating should be fresh. If you have that many customers coming throughout the day, they're going through enough of the food that nothing should be sitting there spoiling. And so it was very good, very tasty, good company, very nice visit. So I was happy about that. So that was a good birthday. All right, you want to see everybody? Here we are, here for my birthday. Having lunch. Where's Cassie?
I don't know.
Where are you?
I'm there.
There you are.
Still there.
Somewhere. I see your sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in your hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Sunlight in the eyes. Here, little Ernie. So we're waiting for our notification that we can go have a seat. Yay! And then for my birthday, we got a new TV. Granted, for my birthday, but also for the house. My husband went out last night and picked it up. He had been watching the sales. Like I said, we went shopping last weekend, I think it was, where we were looking at refrigerators, happened to, glance at some of the TVs. He wanted to do some research on the details of the TVs and stuff, and came across one that was on sale and a good price and would fit our area because we want one of the smaller ones. Of course, they're going for the 65-inch TVs and bigger or whatever. For us, I think the smallest they make these days is 55-inch, and that's what fits our area nicely. That's good. So he was able to find one of those. And went and picked that up last night, and thank goodness for, again, my other daughter being at home here. She loves helping him with different projects like this. Anytime we get some, new appliance, new something that needs putting together, like when he got a new grill years and years ago, she was right there, ready to help, reading the directions, helping out. And same with the TV. She was right there and helping him get the old one off of our TV stand, and then opening up the box for the new one and helping figure out directions. Putting together those little Lego figurines, that helps her with looking at directions and knowing what the heck they mean. Because Wayne was looking at the box and going, how the heck does this tear open? How does it, and Cassie says, well, here, this little picture says that you do this, this, and this. And he's like, oh, okay. So they got the box open, got the TV out. I had to help put the little legs on the bottom because unfortunately, the back of this TV didn't fit the bracket that we have that fits on our TV stand. The screws were a different size or something. So in the meantime, at least it still works. It doesn't look bad. So they put the TV on top of our TV stand and turned it on, and Cassie right away with the remote's all like, changing channel. Well, not changing channels either. TVs these days have a whole menu. It's more like setting up a computer, which I guess it is. It's like a computerish TV. I'm used to the old days. You buy a TV, you plug it in, boom, it works. You have a channel. Not anymore. So thank God for them, because even with her going through and setting things up, I was like feeling all anxious. I had nothing to do with it. I was just watching. And I was just like, oh my Lord, I probably could have figured it out if I would have taken the time and looked at directions and whatever, but to do something either quickly and get things done. What you need is a smart remote.
Oh, I gotta actually plug it in? Oh, TV's connected to the internet. Alrighty.
Ooh. New TV. Now we gotta set it up. She was flipping through things, got it set up for, a streaming service. I have Amazon Prime, and I get movies through that. So they kind of set that up with the TV, and then we can watch YouTube through the TV now. And there's supposedly some gaming. She was checking out that a little bit to see if she could either put the gaming that she does kind of on the TV and do it that way. She did put her YouTube channel on there, and she's watching a few videos, so she was happy as a clam. That was very cute. It was very good. The color of this TV. You guys probably all know, if you have good TVs, it's like, yeah, what, for me, oh my God. That's part of too why Wayne was kind of like, yeah, we're doing this. We're getting a new TV, because he wasn't feeling well a couple days this week, and so he sat on the couch and he turned on the TV to watch a show. And he's just like, oh my gosh, how did I not notice before that the color on this is so bad? That, again, any dark scenes, you couldn't see any detail. You couldn't make out anything that may have been in the background if it worked like something up close. When there were commercials on or whatever, there was like some grass, like a grass cutting machine or grass turf, builder stuff to put on there. The grass was blue. It wasn't green. There were some green areas, but a lot of it, there were blue patches in this green grass. And some of the blues you could tell of like somebody's shirt or something were almost like sometimes pink in areas or... So I'm like, yeah, well, again, we haven't watched TV in years. We have our computers. And now that, because I had been laid up on the couch and needing to either, to do something, where I was on, like I said, on the computer a little bit, but then I would just turn on the TV and watch a few things that way. And he watched a couple movies with me, and it wasn't that bad. I noticed a little bit more than him. Again, more of the background stuff. I guess otherwise the colors weren't as bad. But with him watching it, it was just like jeepers. And this Friday, the Bon Jovi documentary comes out, so I will be able to get to watch it in detail and good color. So, yay for me. As long as I can have somebody turn it on for me, because right now I need a tutorial on how to work the TV. Because when you turn on the TV, it comes up with all these icons and you have to choose which icon you want. So if I want the TV, I have to choose that channel, or if I want, if I wanted the YouTube, but I'll have to figure out how to work the remote, how to work the TV. So once I get a class in that, no. As soon as they teach me, or I have to wait for them to be home to turn it on. We still haven't hooked up the Blu-ray player or anything, but that'll come in time. Again, I have videos that I want to get through and then donate. Otherwise, I guess I wouldn't really care, because again, now we're watching everything through the computer. But in any case, so that was good and happy. And with all the anxiety, that kind of leads into part of with also the CT scan, the results. I hadn't gotten them yet by yesterday morning. And by yesterday afternoon, I think I got them probably right before we kind of got the TV. So with reading that, it's one of those, you have the results and I want to read them, but then again, I don't want to read them, because what am I going to find? So I pull up the results, they're too, as you're kind of reading, I kind of want to jump ahead and see whatever, but I'm just like, no, let's just keep reading and see, line by line, what is it saying? And everything was good. So yay, happy for that. Everything that I could tell, what I was all seeing on there, it looked good. There was a part of the report that said something about there was some ill-defined soft tissue along the bladder and like the anterior vaginal wall, but that it could be due to post-surgical changes. So I'm just going with that yes, that's what that is. So they said that an MRI would give more detailed imaging on that, and that may be something to look into. So today we had the doctor visit. So again, kind of anxious because of this report, making sure again, I'm pretty sure it was good, but we'll see what he says. And going to sleep last night, there too, thinking it was just weird about thinking about going to this clinic. That now I've been there for one post-surgical visit. I was there in January. Of course, the day after that was when I landed in the ER with my blockage. So I was kind of more, I think, focused on my stomach ache than going there. Although I had this feeling at that time too, but not as much as this time, where I was just feeling just really weird about going to the clinic, knowing that this is the clinic I went to for all my chemo, and this is the clinic where so much happened. And it's like this time I'm going to the clinic not for having a treatment, I'm going there just for a doctor's appointment, but because it's at that, in that area, in that office, it was just kind of not creepy, but I'm like, oh. And so I just put out prayers for everybody in the offices, which I've done that before too. I pray for the doctors, and part of my nightly prayers, the doctors and the nurses, because again, it's such wonderful staff that's there. And prayed for all the patients that were going to be there today, knowing what they're going through. They're getting treatments, they're going through something. So putting out prayers to them and help them get through all this too. But then once I, got there, it wasn't so bad. Got the blood draw right away. They used my port, which is good. So I don't have to worry about my veins. And that all went well. Everything, was perfect, that they got the blood out and all that. There was no problems. So that was good. And the nurse came and got me, took me to the back, and my weight was up to 138. So that's good from my low of 110. 138, that's a normal weight. That's kind of like, 140-ish is where I know my GP would, want me to stay. That's kind of that weight that she was always having me kind of go for. But is gaining a little bit more than that, I was like, oh, I should be kind of getting back down. And this is a good base weight. It's a good healthy weight for me. So that was good. Blood pressure's good, and that was it. The doctor came in. He said that, looked at my report, everything looked good. And so again, I thought, well, good, because I'm like, you read these all the time, so you know what they say. He goes, yeah, obviously there are changes in there that have been made because of, your surgery that you had. So there's that. And he said there was that one little portion in there that so that they may, have found some shadow. I don't even know if he said shadows. He goes, they may have found something. He goes, but they err to the side of caution. That obviously they just have to, kind of have to say that. And so he said, so probably in your next scan, he goes, we'll do the MRI. And I said, that's what I was thinking. He goes, yeah, so in 3 months that we'll do that. He said, so it says a boring doctor's appointment. I'm like, that's okay. I'll take boring. I like that. We'll stick with that. And he said, yeah, so like you're urinating fine? And I said, yeah. So that again, they're still concerned about maybe adhesions going on with the bladder, or again with this, what they found that may have been against the bladder. So get a little concerned, but if everything is working well, again, that's a good sign. So yeah, the urinating was going fine. He goes, your liver and kidneys look fine. Your albumin is going up. I asked about my red blood cell count. He said it's going up. Still a little low, but it's going in the right direction. He goes, and it's still understandable. That's a good number because the body is still healing. And he goes, your blood cells are still concentrating on doing that. So they're still trying to make more of themselves. But that was all good. He was happy with everything. And so then he mentioned the port. He said, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I like to keep it in for about 12 months. He said, if you want it out before that, we can do that. If there's, any concerns with it, it's bothering you at all, we can take it out. He goes, but I kind of have this feeling of it's kind of like, carrying an umbrella around with you, even if it's not a rainy day, just for insurance, just, So I'm thinking, kind of his little, like, good luck little thing that he thinks of. I'm like, I'm fine with keeping it in. I said you mentioned it before, and so I figured I would keep it in for, until December-ish. And that's okay, because again, if they can't access that, it hurts, just as much or even a little bit less than really having a needle put in the vein. Today as they put the needle in, it was like, ooh, ouch. But then that was it. I didn't feel anything else. So seeing as if my veins are starting to get little scar tissue on them, and depending on, how often I'm going to have tests, and they're going to have to be putting needles in me, if they can, utilize that, I would prefer that. And the phlebotomist actually told me that if it's okay with the scanning people to be able to use the port for access, like in the CT scan, that if they don't do the port and needle at that clinic, that I can come to the Good Hope Clinic, get the needle placed, and then go to the hospital for my appointment, or go to a different clinic, and I can have my appointment done there. And I'll have to come back to the Good Hope Clinic and have the needle removed, but at least that's an option, that if I don't want my veins poked, and the other places are okay with being able to use the port, as long as it's there, the plugs, the tubes are there for them to use, that I have that option. So that was really nice to learn too. That was my doctor's visit today. So yay, it was, went the way that I was hoping it would go. And we'll just keep on keeping on. So that's it. I want to thank all of you again for all the birthday wishes. I really super appreciate that. All the comments that were on that video with everybody wishing me well, wishing me a happy birthday. That was very nice. I appreciate that so much. Helped make for a happy day. You guys put smiles on my faces all day long. I hope you are doing well. Let me know in the comments what's fun and exciting going on in your life. And on that note, keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.